Hey everybody, my name is Candace, for anyone who doesn't already know me. This video is in reference to a Facebook post that I made roughly a week ago. I was saying how I wanted to teach more people about personal finance, and in the comments I asked if you guys could give me some of the questions that you all have or some topics that you would want me to cover. And I got a pretty good response. I got a lot of suggestions and a lot of topics. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start making a video series. I'm going to try to put out a video a week covering those topics that you all sent me. I'm going to try to put the videos in an order that makes sense as you progress in your personal finance journey and learn more. The next video should get you to the next step. One of the biggest things that I've seen people talk about is budgeting. Well, budgeting and saving. But before we get to savings, we have to know how to budget. So in this video, I'm going to go over the basics of budgeting for you and let you know how I do my budgeting. Now, there are a lot of different types of budgeting. You can do more research to see which one works best for you. The one that I use is called zero-based budgeting. What that means is I budget myself down to $0. This does not mean that I'm spending all of my money. What this means is I'm giving each dollar an assignment. I'm giving each dollar somewhere to go. So that means anything that I'm spending money on that month is included in my budget. So if that means, let's say I want to buy a new pair of shoes, that's in my budget. If I smoke cigarettes, that's in my budget. If I know I'm going to go get my hair done, every month, and that's at least $200, that's in my budget. You want to budget yourself down until there's no more money. I did create a presentation for you guys of a mock budget. Now this budget is very high level. I'm just going over the basics here to show you how to get started. If there's anything that you want me to go into deeper, just let me know in the comments, or I guess if you know me personally, you can shoot me a Facebook message. But here we go. So the first step in creating your budget is to write down all of your monthly expenses. You're going to want to list them in order of due date. So if you get paid twice a month, you're going to have a check that's going to be earlier in the month, and you're going to have a check that's later in the month. List these expenses out by due date so you know which expenses need to be paid from which check. Here on the screen we have the first check. Let's say this person brings home after taxes $1,200 per check. So everything that's due in the first half of the month is listed here. We have phone, internet, water, car insurance, Starbucks, cigarettes, half of the rent, which I'm going to get to that later and why it's just half, food, and fuel, which is gas for the car. So if we go through this, we see the due dates are earlier in the month, which is why we're paying it from this check. The Starbucks and the cigarettes. This is not necessarily bills, but if this is something, and these are just examples of different vices people have. If these things are something that you know you are going to spend money on, put it in your budget. Not writing it in your budget does not mean that this $60 is not going to come out. So if you know you are going to buy it, put it in the budget. Now, when we get down to rent, let's say this person's rent is $800 per month. What we're doing is breaking it up and saving $400 per check so that we're not having to come up with that $800 out of one $1,200 check. This would also put you a month ahead on your rent. Food, this is, again, these are just our arbitrary numbers that I just made up. Food, we have $75 every other week, so bi-weekly. And then we have fuel, which is gas for the car, bi-weekly. In this person's case, when they get done paying everything that they need to pay, they have $120 left. Now, does this mean go out and spend that $120? No, it does not. If you have no more expenses that come up for that month, keep that $120 in your bank account. Now, remember, you also have the $400 that you're saving. So in all, you're going to have $520 left in your bank account. This, again, is not free money. This does not mean go out and buy something for $519 because you have $520 in your account. What you're going to do is save that $120. And remember, we're not even counting the extra $400 that's in there because that's already spent. So the $120 that you have for your next check, you're going to add that to the $1,200. Now you have a starting point of $1,320 as opposed to the $1,200 that you have if you spent everything from your last check. Now, this is where we're going to pay the bills that are due in the second half of the month. We have electric, we have gas. Again, we have all the biweekly expenses, which are food, fuel, Starbucks, cigarettes, rent, and anything else that you need to throw in your budget. Now, since we saved that $120, when we get done paying all these bills, now we have some left over, which is $540. Now at this time, it's probably time to pay rent. So you're going to have more than this $520 in the bank. You're going to have, if my math is correct, $1,340 in the bank. Remember, $800 of that is for rent. Do not spend it. All you have left is $540. Now, this $540, again, if you don't have anything that you absolutely need to buy, keep that in the bank. Because what you're going to do is add that to your next $1,200 check. Now our starting point is $1,740. So if you're getting how this is progressing, each check you're going to have more and more left over. This is how you're going to start to pick up momentum to start paying down debt, keeping a savings account, all the extra things that you need to do with your money. This will also keep you from living paycheck to paycheck. You will always know what's in your bank account down to the exact dollar, which you may have emergencies pop up, so it may not be exact, but you'll know in general how much you have at any given time. So that was just a high-level overview of budgeting. Some things that I want you to remember. It gets easier. The first few months are probably going to suck really bad because you're going to see money in your account that you're not going to be able to spend. So you're going to feel like you're broke, but you're not broke. You're building momentum in order to get to the point where you can do the things that you want to do, like save more money, do different things for your children, take any trips that you want to take. This is the way to do it in a way that's not going to leave you broke and regretting it after the fact. When you're done doing this budget, you might realize that you have more bills than money. You might realize that you probably need to grocery shop more than you are eating out. Or you might realize the small expenses, like your monthly subscriptions to Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, those are the things that are putting you over the edge. But you won't know that until you develop a budget. So this is just the beginning. Again, this is high level. That budget was a mock budget. It is not anybody's actual numbers. I made all of it up. But you can take this as a jumping off point into input your numbers and see where you can improve, see what expenses that you can cut out. And this gets easier every month. You're not going to get it right the first month because it's going to be things that you leave out. But as you go through the month, make note of things that you have to pay for so that when you do your budget the following month, you'll know to add those in. And again, if there's anything that you want me to go deeper into detail on, leave a comment, or if you know me personally, again, shoot me a Facebook message. Next week's video will be on debt reduction. We are going to talk about how to pay off debt and the best strategy that I found to do so. Hopefully you will join me for that. Thank you for watching.